The game of politics just got messier because the BRICS bloc has met and Trump has something to say about it. You are listening to Questica Politica, the podcast where power meets policy and geopolitics get explained. I'm your host Dhruvi, and today we will zoom into Rio de Janeiro, where the 17th BRICS summit concluded. This was the summit of symbolism, strategy, and simmering tensions between nations. The headline celebrated the expansion of the BRICS bloc, including Indonesia's formal entry. This was not said out loudly, but it is as important. Today we will break down the major themes of the summit, the controversies simmering under the surface, and how Donald Trump's America is still trying to clip BRICS wings. The BRICS bloc is originally made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, which has now welcomed Indonesia as a full-fledged member. This comes just months after the bloc added Egypt, UAE, and Ethiopia in 2024. With Indonesia's entry, BRICS now represents over 40% of the global population and nearly 35% of global GDP in the purchasing power parity. Now the question arises, why Indonesia? Indonesia is a G20 nation, strategically positioned in the Southeast Asia and seen as a bridge between West and the global South. Its inclusion signals BRICS' growing ambition to rival Western institutions, not just in rhetoric, but in real regional reach. The expansion didn't go unchallenged. Despite the smiles and photo ops, there are clear trade tensions inside the summit chambers, and India has voiced concerns over China's Belt and Road dominance. New Delhi is refusing to endorse any BRICS infrastructure bank expansion that overlaps with the BRI routes. Meanwhile, Brazil is facing pressure from domestic farmers over growing Chinese imports that has hurt local prices. Even Russia is battling sanctions and inflation and pushing for a new BRICS trading currency, a proposal that India and Brazil both subtly blocked, citing feasibility and inflation fears. So while the summit concluded with a statement on deepening South-South cooperation, the reality is that BRICS is still a bloc of rivals trying to look like allies. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or in this case, the eagle circling overhead. Donald Trump. In his second term as the US president, Trump hasn't just doubled down on tariffs. He has weaponized trade as a geopolitical tool. Just days before the BRICS summit, he threatened 100% tariffs on Chinese and Russian electronics, up to 40% tariffs on Indian and Brazilian agricultural exports, and sanctions on any BRICS-led oil deals conducted in non-dollar currencies. Many believe this was no coincidence. It was a calculated move to rattle the BRICS leaders and remind them who still controls the dollar-dominated global trade system. BRICS may be growing, but the US still holds the keys to the global finance, and Washington isn't afraid to slam the door if it feels threatened. The BRICS summit wasn't just about economics. The bloc issued a mildly worded statement on Gaza, calling for an immediate ceasefire and respect for international law. But it stopped short of condemning Israel or the US, sparking backlash from pro-Palestinian groups in South Africa and Egypt. Meanwhile, civil society groups in Brazil protested China's human rights record, especially in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. Those protests were quickly contained, but the tension was real. Another controversy circling the BRICS is Russia's push to use BRICS to bypass Western sanctions via oil trade, crypto settlements, and alternative banking channels. India and Brazil again were reluctant to go full throttle, worried about damaging their US and European Union trade relationships. So is BRICS the future of the global order? The answer could be maybe, but not without a few bruises. It is bigger than ever, but also more complex, more divided, and facing more external pressure than ever. Trump's America is betting that tariff threats and dollar dominance will keep BRICS in check, but BRICS is betting on numbers, markets, and patience. The next few years will show us whether this bloc becomes the backbone of a multipolar world or just a well-branded club with internal contradictions. That's it for today's deep dive into the BRICS Summit 2025. Expansion, trade fiction, global politics, it is all tangled together and the power balance is shifting slowly but surely. If you found this episode insightful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you would like for us to cover any topic, let us know in the comments. Until then, stay curious, stay critical.